lovely Emily Blunt.
Oh, the sweetest thing. Oh, the sweetest thing. Ain't love the sweetest. Oh, the sweetest thing.
Wow, that's a great dress you got on there.
No, I'm a bit worried it's a bit short. You can see the top of my tights.
Don't ever worry about a dress being too short. Now, just flown in from Los Angeles to be with us,
yes.
I believe, and happy birthday. It was your birthday this week.
It was on Monday, yeah.
Wow, 42. What a
I
lovely...
know.
I know. It's had a bit of work done, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you go to LA for.
Just a little bit.
Now, how old are you? How old were you this year?
26.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I remember when I was 26.
What were those days like?
They were very similar to the way they are today.
That's a worry.
Yeah. Just no petrol. We were steam-driven. OK, Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
I loved that movie. I didn't think I would necessarily. I loved it. It was a tremendous, fun movie. I've watched it with my kids any number of times. Now, you played the assistant to the woman who edits a magazine rather like Vogue,
yes.
which is based on a woman in real life who is somewhat scary, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get to meet her? Did you do much research for the part? Did you get to hang out at the magazine?
I didn't actually hang out at the magazine. I actually went to this sort of fashion event called the Met Ball, which I was really dreading, and I wasn't aware that Anna Wintour was in charge of it.
Well, there she is. You can see she's a nice, jokey person to hang out with. Very relaxed and
calm.
So
I had to kind of... There was a big queue going in. I was like, oh, this is awful. Why is there such a long queue? And then I turned the corner and I realised we had to shake hands with Anna Wintour, and it was just like, oh, my God, this is going to be awful. And I'd heard that she was upset about the film being made and felt it was a bit of a betrayal by the woman who'd written it, and so I walked up to meet her, and she did one of those like handshakes where you shove the hand away. She was like, hello, and then shoved it.
Pushed it back.
And I was like, all right, see you later.
What about the making the movie itself, though? Because it seemed to me, and I don't know, it seems like it's a fairly accurate portrayal of that world.
That's what people tell me. I mean, I think it is that sort of awful and incestuous and competitive.
But at the same time, you can see why people love it, because if you like clothes, if you like fashion, you would want to be there. It feels like you're in the centre of it all.
Well, you would. I mean, but I certainly wouldn't want to work in an office where you can't eat a bagel.
No, I wouldn't want to either. Did you get to keep any of the clothes? Did you get to keep any of the gear from the...
I didn't. It's a real sore point, because Meryl decided to auction them all off.
So Meryl's
So that was nice. No, obviously it was for charity. So.
Still are.
But I did steal a belt.
Well, that's nice. So you stole a belt from charity. Yeah, she's fantastic in the film, of course. Yeah. And it must be daunting, I'm sure, for any young actress to go in and know you're working with Streep.
Yeah.
Did she put you at ease? Is she relaxed with you?
She met us at the read-through, and she was really nice and really supportive and laughed at my first line, which I appreciated. And then afterwards, she took Annie and I aside and she said, you know, I'm really happy that you guys are in the movie and I think you're going to be really good. And that's the last nice thing I'm going to say to you. And it really was, like, that was it. And so when we got to set, she was quite frosty.
So she stayed in character then?
A little bit. I mean, it wasn't that we couldn't approach her, but she was quite reserved. I think she hated playing her, to be honest.
Really? Why so?
Yeah, because I think that she felt she was rather soulless, sort of boring.
Oh, but she does it's a great performance.
She does a good dragon.
But I can imagine, you know, when you meet someone who you've admired for years, it is intimidating. I mean, when Clive came in this evening and met me, you could see he was a little bit...
Clive is quaking back there.
He was, I'm something of a role model to that young man. OK, let's talk about your new... Well, no, before we talk about your new movie, let's talk about the movie made with Tom Hanks, because I met Emily and interviewed her very briefly for the film show I do for the BBC, and you were just about to go off and shoot Charlie Wilson's War with Tom Hanks.
And take my clothes off.
Yeah, it's not a huge part, but you were nervous about it because you had to be semi-naked or nearly naked with him.
Yeah, which is mortifying, obviously, having to do any of those scenes. But, I mean, it was distracting doing it with someone like Tom Hanks, who I've grown up watching, and all I could think of was, like, Splash and Big, and... Oh, no, I shouldn't say that.
You don't want to think of that.
Oh, God.
You're naked with Tom Hanks and think about Splash and Big. Did you tell him that?
No, I veered off that on the day. Oh, God.
And how does he put you at your ease there?
He was so cool. He was such a gentleman and just made it very easy for me. I mean, it's always embarrassing. There's always some unnecessary crew guy lurking around. But
it's a weird part of your business, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is strange. I mean, it's never going to be comfortable. It's always quite clinical. I mean, there's always someone gagging for their lunch break in the middle of your love scene, so...
Well, let's have a look at the clip. This is you in action. Don't worry, we don't show the nudie bit, but do they ever...
Is this Charlie Wilson's?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Really?
Do they ever, though, shoot more than they should? I mean, do you have in the contract how much they're allowed to see? You know, like,
Well,
one
I
breast, a
thought
little
I
bit
did,
of
but
thie?
I was
or...
surprised when there was a close-up of my bum in it, so I was
really,
surprised by that when I saw it.
You hadn't said you could shoot from behind? That's a legitimate cinematic question.
Oh, no.
That is a legitimate term. It is.
No, I hadn't said that would be okay, no.
Let's have a look. There's a bit of toes as well.
Oh, no.
It's hotter here in DC than in Nacogdoches.
Cut.
That's his mum on the phone, spoiling his fun.
Yeah, it's my dad.
Well,
Actually, it's so embarrassing watching that. It's so embarrassing because I remember the song where I'm supposed to be coming down the stairs. Originally, it was going to be I'm a joker, I'm a Madonna,
Yeah.
and I was like, I can do that. That's in my range.
The
And
Steve
then
Miller Band, yeah.
when Mike Nichols had the idea to do Angel of the Morning, when I heard it, you can hear how high it is. I sound like a canary, and like so the option was to do Just Call Me Angel, or like to do it Just Call Me Angel. I didn't know which one was sexier, so I went for the
neither of the way you just did it there. Is
neither one.
Now, I saw a preview of your new movie, Young Victoria, which is
Right.
out in March. I saw it yesterday, and I adored it.
Oh, good.
I loved it. I didn't know there would. It's a period thing, and sometimes it's easy to get that kind of thing wrong. But a fascinating story as well. And the story, the idea for the film comes from quite an unusual source, doesn't it? Who was it who first suggested they make this movie?
It was the Duchess of York, Sarah
So it was
Ferguson.
Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, not Fergie, from
Fergie.
Black Eyed Peas, Fergie from
Yeah.
Ex of the Royal Family.
Yeah.
So she must have, read up on the Young Victorian.
Well,
news.
I think it was her idea, and then she brought it to Graham King, and then Julian Fellows just ran with it, and he's a historical buff, so...
Yeah. And was it the usual audition process, or did you get invited in for this?
I mean,
What
it was, I think I found out about it early on from my pushy agent. So I went to meet them, and I rarely do kind of an impassioned plea for something, but I really wanted to do this, so...
And was that because you'd already read the script, or you knew
yeah,
it would
I'd
be a
read
good...
the script, and I knew that I was probably the elimination process for someone bigger.
Yeah, but it's
I
a
was
truth.
like-
Well, this is kind of, in a way, your first lead, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And is that tricky when you go in knowing that you're essentially carrying the movie?
I did find that frightening and daunting, and I felt the kind of pressure of responsibility that comes with that. But I more just fell in love with her and everything that I read about her, and she was so fascinating. I think the preconception of her is that she's this old, repressed, sour-faced cow with a hanky on her head.
Walking
and
around
she
here
was
with a black frock with a hanky on, yeah. Look,
Yeah,
well, there you
so-
go. But what a remarkable life. I mean, and presumably, historically, it's all accurate. I mean, the thing about
It
her...
is. I mean, she actually did lead this very lonely, closeted childhood where she wasn't allowed friends, or she had to walk downstairs with someone holding her hand.
Always
She
had
slept in the
someone
same
holding
room as her mum.
Was that in case she slipped and fell?
In
and
case she slipped, yeah.
So the next in line at the phone would have gone. What
Would
a
have
weird
gone.
upbringing.
So it was very lonely, I think, for her. So it's remarkable she had the resilience to kind of carry through and become queen. in
And
the
real
way she
strength
did.
of character,
Yeah.
if we'd have believed the movie, to resist other people who wanted to take some of that power from her,
Absolutely,
at least
yeah.
early on. Who's that with you? Who's the young fellow with it playing
That's
the young
lovely
Prince Albert?
Rupert Friend.
Rupert Friend. He's Keira Knightley's young man, I believe.
Yes.
He's tremendous in the film.
He's brilliant, and he was kind of the only guy who could have played the part, really.
We have a clip. This is out next Friday. Really, I recommend it wholeheartedly. This is Young Victoria.
Parker's marvellous.
That's Emily Blunt as young Victoria. That's a lovely scene. I've got to confess, I welled up a little bit when she finds love there.
I love that you did.
It's a really lovely romantic story. It's beautifully told, and you carry it brilliantly. I think.
Thank
really,
you.
I think you've. As long as you don't make some dodgy movies over the next 2 years, you'll be fine.
I probably have done.
Well, your next one, it could be great, could be terrible. Let's wait and see.
Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
Emily's in
You
The
had
Wolfman.
Benicio, didn't you?
We had Benicio del Toro. What a great fella. I loved his company.
Good.
And this, look, just from that, it's the only still we've got. Just from that, I know I'm going to be queuing to see it. No. You got Anthony Hopkins in a beard there, looking
Yeah.
great, OK? You're all done up in the widow weeds. And then there's Benicio with a brilliant hat on. Presumably he is the Wolfman, isn't he?
Well, he's halfway there. Look at him.
And Anthony Hopkins, of course, he's no slouch when it comes to scary movies. The first time you've worked with him, is this?
It's the first time, and he's such a dream. I followed him around like a bad smell. I didn't leave him alone.
And does he do... I mean, he's quite playful, isn't he? Does he do...
He is. He's actually an amazing mimic. He can impersonate almost anyone. He does Gielgud and Olivier and all them. And I did ask him to do Hannibal for me.
Now, why did you ask him to do
In the
that?
makeup chair, we were sitting there, and I just went, go on, do it. And he was like, what? I was like, do it. And so he did some, and I can't remember what he said because I almost puked. It was so awful. Yeah, he did a bit of that, and oh, it's terrifying.
He just turns it on with the eyes.
He just turns it on.
Well, I can't wait to see that. And once again, congratulations on the movie,
Thank you.
Young Victoria. Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Emily Blunt.
Thank you. Am I off then?
Well off, you can.
Thank you very much.
I really do love them.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm thrilled.
Emily Blunt, ladies and gentlemen.